What's up guys, welcome to Wasted Space, and today I wanted to introduce you to a new game I've been playing recently called Naval Action. Now this is a very early alpha, only came out about a month and a half, 2 months ago into its sort of first proper playable alpha, and it is based around the 16th century Age of Sail period, so very similar to games like Pirates of the Burning Sea, Age of Sail itself, and so far at least I've been having quite a lot of fun with this one. So just to give you a little introduction about what the game's about and the state it's currently in, as you can see here, we've got the full functional ship combat mechanics, and this is the bit that they're really trying to focus on at the moment, get the core gameplay mechanics down, and then look at doing something further than that. So the UI is very basic, there's very little to the game other than what you can see here. However, what you can see here is very, very polished for what it is and the state the game is at. So what they're gunning to do with this game, it seems, and a lot of this information obviously is stuff that's going to change and become clear over time as they talk further about it and get more developed, is something that has a real strong lean towards the realistic. Now that doesn't mean to the detriment of the playability. I can certainly say that the game so far is really playable and really fun to play, but with a lot of emphasis being put on proper sailing mechanics, proper physics. So the engine, and one of the most impressive parts about the engine so far is some of the physics interaction, both in the damage models on the ships, as you can probably see, but also in how the ship responds to the wind, in how the ship responds to the waves, and how the ship responds to ramming stuff. You really do feel like you are driving a massively heavy hunk of wood. So aside from that, there's a couple of other interesting bits that are in the game currently that kind of show that it's got a lot of potential and somewhere to grow, and by that I'm talking about firstly the range of ships we have already available. So you're talking about everything from very, very small close haul ships such as the Lynx, which is the ship you start off with, right up to ships of the line, full decks of cannons, full broadsides, and all the fun you can expect with that. So there are a few limitations with how the game is currently set up. There is, for the purposes of testing at least, a fixed limit on the battle areas that we are in. So this is all footage from PvP games I've been playing in various different boats, and all of this has been set up so that once the game is done, it will be open world and you would be able to run away from a fight like this. But because we're just testing how the mechanics of the game work currently, they've put a limit on what exactly you can do. There's quite a small fixed size for the battle area, and also a number of limits as far as time is concerned, and most importantly a really big limitation in the form of how much explanation you get as to what to do in the game and how to play. So if you are interested in picking this sort of game up, I really recommend you go and check out some videos or read some of the guides they've got up on the forums. RamJB in particular has been doing some quite cool videos of late where he's getting a lot more in depth with the game than I can, at least at the moment. I'm really quite new to it. And explains quite a lot about some of the mechanics that you'd need to know before you start. So if this is starting to look cool, starting to interest you, definitely check that out. Now as far as the future of the game is concerned, there's a lot on offer. Again, I'm going to use Pirates of the Burning Sea as a kind of an example, because that seems to be a relatively recent one that went for the open world sandbox approach that these guys are trying to take. So the idea is eventually you would have the whole Caribbean to explore, and that would be potentially some of the focus of the game. It's not just going to be combat. There will be trading, there will be exploration, there will be adventuring. You will be able to create guilds, potentially create ports within the Caribbean yourself, and quite a lot beyond that that I don't want to talk too much about, simply because there's no actual facts to it yet. This is sort of early days, early plans, and if they get anywhere near what they're currently sort of talking about and what they're currently planning to do, this game is going to be awesome, to be honest. Now, it might not be your sort of game, I'll admit that. It's something that's quite niche. However, if the idea of shooting a huge number of cannons off on one broadside and enjoying watching the results explode in front of you tempts you in the slightest, I really recommend you try this one out, because it's a bit of an expensive buy-in, it's quite early on, but as I said, the potential for where this could go off a basis that is this solid is pretty immense. So I'm not going to do too much more on it than just this. I'm probably going to come out with a tutorial video, really basic stuff, some point soon, just to tell you what the controls are, how all of these various UI elements work, because as I said, it's not very well explained. But for now, I don't want to go too deep. I just want to say, here's this game. It looks absolutely amazing. I promise you it's really fun to play. You'd think it would be very, very slow paced because you've got long reload times, everything moves quite slowly, everything reacts slowly. But at the same time, at no point do you sit there and think, well, I'm just waiting around. You've always got something to do, you've always got something to worry about, and it just gets even more intense when you get into these huge, great battles like I'm showing you here. This is a battle from the Trafalgar I did earlier today, where I think we had 27 people involved, and okay, it was a bit chaotic. But this is the sort of scale that the game is aiming to operate on, and you've got to admit, watching these ships of the line turn the sky black with broadsides is damn cool. So yeah, I recommend you check this one out. I've put all the details in the description so you can go and have a look. It's not necessarily the time to get involved and invest right away. I wanted to make you aware. If it really grabs you and you think, hey, I've got to play this game, do so, get involved. They're really interested in getting feedback, and I think there's a lot of potential there. But I'm not going to say, hey, everybody jump on board, invest in this one, because for the time being, there's a lot of limitations. It's really something that you're only going to get into a lot if you're someone that enjoys this style of game and you know you enjoy this style of game. If you do choose to buy it, however, and get involved, be aware they're not sending out alpha keys immediately when you purchase. Normally it's a weekly schedule up until this point, so they send out the keys on a Friday. Be aware of that. And also be aware it's $40 or whatever your regional equivalent is, which is quite expensive for an alpha buy. You know, early on, it's typical for games to be a bit cheaper than that. I think this one's got the promise and the potential to go to the point where that's actually kind of a cheaper price for the game, like they want it to be. But that doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to get there, so keep that in mind. This is an alpha, it's nothing like a finished product. I just think, judging on what they've done already, is looking really cool. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed my first Thursday video. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this day still. There's probably going to be some more Naval Action content, but I think I'll probably keep it as a kind of, I'll do whatever for the time being on a Thursday and see what you guys enjoy. So hit me up below if you've got anything you want to say as far as what I should do in the future. Also hit me up below if this game looks interesting, if you've got anything you want to say about it. I'm currently playing, I'm using Wasted Space as my name, so if you do get it, give me a shout out. Let's do some games together. We can't group at the moment, unfortunately. That's intentionally not in the game because there's so few people playing it currently, you would be really overpowered. You've got a strong group together, they'd just be straight unbeatable. So we might end up fighting each other, but either way, hit me up below. And otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Really helps me and the channel out, and I will catch you next time.